It'd be a cool idea, but I don't think it would happen. Anyway, so geography now, Fiji. Let's learn about some island nations, huh? Gosh, I would love to visit Fiji. I love Fiji water too. I mean, I hate to say that about Fiji. The only thing I know about Fiji is the Fiji water, but it's cool.
Almost 2 years since we last filmed the country in Oceania. Do you have any idea how long that playlist has been alone and frightened without any friends?
One Australia
Finally,
video.
Today we break history in Australia. Say hi to your new friend, Fiji. Oh, can't you like give me maybe New Zealand or something? Like I'm doing the videos alphabetically. You just friggin' figure out a way to get along until Kiribati comes up.
That was a good Australian accent, though. Better than the fucking guy that does the animal thing.
It's time to learn geography.
Now! Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbie. We are doing our first ever Melanesian island country. You have no idea how excited I am for this because the whole Pacific is bountifully laden with some of the most colorfully enigmatic peoples on the planet. Let's just jump in. Chances are you may have already heard of the country of Fiji, whether it be the water bottles, which really do come from Fiji, or the rugby sevens team that just won the gold at the Rio Olympics. However, where is this precious little ocean?
I mean, I'm guessing this video
well, Fiji is kind of like the crossroads
it's over 5 years old, 6 years old.
30 islands, less than half of which are inhabited, and over 500 small rocks and islets located in the South Pacific Ocean in the geographic subregion known as Melanesia. For those who didn't know, this is Melanesia, this is Polynesia, and this is the region of Micronesia, not to be confused with the sovereign country of Micronesia, even though it lies in the Micronesia region. The nearest neighbors are Vanuatu
it's complicated,
to the
bro.
west,
It's
Tonga
super
to the
complicated.
east, and the barely visible nation of Tuvalu to the north.
Tonga, gosh, poor Tonga. The people in Fiji had some tsunamis because of the volcano. That happened super recently, and we talked about Australia and Alaska, but I guess the people in Fiji had much stronger waves after
Due to the
that.
fact that you can literally traverse the entire width of some parts of the country within less than a minute by foot.
I remember when I was in 3rd grade, we had to see which one was Hawaii sand or Fiji sand. Wow. That's so cool,
The country
though.
is divided into 4 divisions, 2 of which lie on Viti Levu alone, which then are divided into 14 islands.
Viti Levu, the main island, I'm guessing?
In the northern division, the island of Taveuni actually lies right on the international date line on the anti-meridian at 180 degrees longitude. To avoid the hassle of national date line,
yo, that's cool.
At 100.
After this line is today, and here it's yesterday. Yo, that'd be sick. I remember Fiji also faced tsunamis. Got it.
To avoid the hassle of having to administer a portion of the country that would be perpetually located in the past, Fiji just made the entire country follow the UTC plus 12 time zone. Yeah, just wait till we get to Kiribati. They kind of went overboard with that concept. In addition to their main islands, the furthest inhabited island, Rotuma, is located 220 nautical miles north of the rest of Fiji. However, at over 440 kilometers away from the main islands,
time travel. You know, that smart Hulk meme?
Fiji. The island is just a shallow sandbar only inhabited by birds and apparently has great diving spots, but is very dangerous to approach outside of high tide because it has like sharp, jagged coral heads that can easily puncture a ship's hull. There are about 30 inner island airports and airstrips, only 2 of which are international airports, Nandi and Nausori. If you fly here, you will most likely arrive in Nandi, the northern west side of the Viti Levu Island. Although the capital and largest city, Suva, is located on the complete opposite side of the island, which is close to the Nausori airport, just across the Rewa River. Oh, and there's an island named Kia that sits right at the middle of the shallow sandbars on the north side of Vanua Levi that looks like an open
Yo, I really have to wonder what the living in Fiji would be like. It must be so beautiful to have some of the world's most amazing beaches at your disposal. I mean, that'd be fucking sick.
Speaking of kangaroos, there are none on this island, but there are other animals. A transition.
There's no kangaroos? Well,
one of the reasons why Fiji is
so makes sense
is because of how the islands look. Amazing, but it's interesting
to
see what kind of amazing it holds. First of all, if you look at the satellite map, you'll notice that the islands of Fiji are kind of oddly shaped in a spiral pattern, somewhat resembling a spiral galaxy or a Fibonacci sequence. This is because Fiji is located right at the very end of the New Hebrides Trench, which, unlike
I was having a problem seeing that, but
twisty curve that in return erupts into a molten lava plot that gave
but it is true.
Fiji. To this day, the only islands with volcanic activity are Vanua Levu and Taveuni. Chances are you will come across the national drink kava kava, which is made of this powdered root of the yagona plant, which supposedly makes your tongue go numb, and then it kind of gives you like a relaxing feeling. Dishes usually include staples such
some
as
like
one of the 7
Fijian
different types of taro.
drug. Did you say
That's
that?
what I got from my research. Yep. Kumala or sweet potato, breadfruit, taro leaves, and bele, one of the most nutritious vegetables in Oceania. However, if you have time, see if you can treat yourself to the traditional Lovo-style meal cooked underground with marinated meats wrapped in taro leaves. The country is teeming with wildlife, many species of which are endemic, like the 4 different types of bats, several birds, and fish. The country doesn't have an official...
Yeah, of course. I think with a lot of nations like Fiji, we tend to just focus on the beach and like, oh, look at the cool ocean and all that. But of course, Fiji must have some beautiful animals.
Animal,
plants.
But some will tell you that the Fijian iguana or banded iguana is very unique and iconic to the country. The islands near
Does
the
look
center
very
of the
unique,
spiral are
though.
mostly mountainous, with the highest peak, Mount Tomanivi, formerly called Mount Victoria, at around 1,300 meters high, located on Viti Levu. Only 5 of the islands are big.
Maybe it's just me living in a tiny island isolated from others, including potential help would make me nervous. It would make me very nervous. Especially like things must be expensive because transporting so much cargo to a small island must be incredibly expensive. Did you know that there's a lot of Indians in Fiji? I didn't knew that.
Rivers, Viti Levu, Vanua, Taveuni, Ovalau, and Gao. The longest ones being
I
the
guess
Rawa
we'll
and
talk
the
about it in
Sikatoka
the
rivers, both
demographic
located on Viti
section.
Levu. Otherwise, all other small islands rely on either small reservoirs or rainwater to assist in freshwater needs. The Mamanuca Island chain is literally nicknamed the Honeymoon Islands, with its picturesque beaches and palm trees.
Oh, a
Also,
season
the
of
site where
Survivor
the
was
Castaway
located
filmed.
on that.
Vanua
Yeah.
Levu is kind of like the agriculture island covered in sugarcane and coconut plantations. Flower-laden and highly jungle-concentrated Taveuni is a great getaway from the rest of the islands with black sand beaches. If you really want adventure though, see if you can make it all the way to the rarely visited Eastern Division islands like Lau and Moala, otherwise known as Fiji's last frontier. Or you
Last
can kind of fly to
frontier.
Rotuma and feel like you're in Polynesia, which it kind of technically is in Polynesia. Okay, transition.
Demographics, come on.
Okay, so we
Show
can
me
talk
some
all about
people.
the beaches and the jungles, but in the end, the people of Fiji are what really make it stick out. First of all, the country has over 900,000 people and is the most racially diverse country in Melanesia. The country is made
Okay.
up of about 57% native Fijian peoples known as the Itauke. About a third of the population is Indian from India,
Wow.
known as Indo-Fijians. 2% are Rotumen, and the rest are mostly Europeans, other Pacific Islanders, and China.
33% Indian. That's a lot. Is it migration, empire? Why? Coca-Cola or Pepsi? Oh, come on, bro. There's only one correct answer. I'm a Coke. Both are garbage. I mean, they are garbage. They are poison, okay? But it's like a good tasting poison.
Chinese.
You
Also,
know?
they use the Fijian dollar, they drive on the left side of the road, and they use the Type I.
British
plug
Empire,
The interesting
yeah.
thing is that unlike most Pacific
Oh, please don't tell me that the British did something fucked up, like putting a lot of Indians in Fiji to work. I mean, I guess it'd be the same as in like Suriname or those places, right? In South America, Suriname, Guyana, they have a lot of people from India or Asia in general.
Islands, Fiji is made up of a noticeably large community of Indians from India.
British
They are the
Empire,
descendants
huh?
of the first indentured servants that were brought over by
Oh.
the British in the late 19th century. The Indian Fijians, or Findians as they like to be called sometimes, have a
Findians.
very distinguished culture that sets them apart from their cousins on the mainland of India.
Findians.
They speak Fiji Hindi, which is like a weird islander English, Tamil, Punjabi, Urdu mixture creation that slowly evolved in the past century and is now sometimes indecipherable to the Indians in India. To this day, English, Fijian, and Hindi are the official languages of the country. Largest group though, the Fijian natives are some of the most intriguing peoples on the planet. Fijian culture in rural areas
Yeah,
is
it must
still
be so
dominated
interesting
by
to go.
village-led elders and chiefs that look over their communities. Visitors are implored to be respectful and dress modestly when in the presence of elders. And do not
Oh,
touch
shit.
anyone on the head, especially a chief. That's how this guy got killed and eaten. Which, okay, I'm gonna address the elephant in the room. Yes, Fiji.
Whoa, okay. There's so much going on there. So it's disrespectful to touch someone on the head. Elders are to be very much respected. And a guy got eaten, apparently, for doing that. And guys, you shouldn't really do that. In France, there is a cliche that in Mexico, Coca-Cola is cheaper than water. Really? I wonder why do people believe that? No, water is not cheap. Sorry, Coke is not cheaper than water. Britain did invade a lot of places in Africa. They did that with South Africa. They forced the Indians to work there. True. I think we watched some of that in South Africa episode.
Did have a history of ancestors
True,
that
many imported
practiced
to other
ritualistic
colonies.
cannibalism at one point, which is why the country was once called the Cannibal Islands. It was mostly done against
Really?
enemies
Cannibal
defeated in
Island?
war.
I
They
didn't-
acknowledge it. It's not something they deny, and yes, it was completely abandoned and done away with a long time ago. Fijian natives are kind of interesting though, because they're kind of like Melanesians that act more like Polynesian. First of all, Melanesian peoples are some of the strangest genetic anomalies because they are amongst the only few people groups outside of Europe that grow naturally blonde hair. This is attributed to the type 1 allele gene that most Melanesians have. Typically, the blonde hair
Yeah,
is
I've
grown
seen
in
that.
childhood and adolescence and eventually gains a darker pigmentation in adulthood until it's fully black. Some cool cultural aspects include tapa cloth weaving, pottery, mulberry mats, carved wood, canoes, weapons, the Saya Saya fan dance for women, and the Meke Wesi spear dance for men.
I'm sorry,
and
I have to
traditional
say this,
Buri
but a lot of the pictures he just showed looked like. Have you all
tapa
seen
cloth
Moana?
weaving, pottery, mulberry mats, carved wood,
Especially for example, the carved wood looks.
canoes, weapons,
The canoes
Saya Saya fan
and the
dance
dance.
for women, and the Meke Wesi
There was a lot of Indians in Africa because of the empire. Many were sadly forced to leave when these nations fell to the dictatorship.
spear dance for men, and the traditional Bure Kalo thatched roof houses. And if you're lucky, you'll see some traditional
Oh,
fire
the
spins
fire
and hot
dance.
coal walking on certain days. Quick history
Wow.
lesson. After independence, Fiji
Woo,
had
that
a
must
little
be
political
cool.
strife. There
Cool
were
to
4
watch, at
Unitas,
least.
many of which were spurred on by racial tensions between the native Fijian population and the Indian minorities.
Oh.
Long story short, it had a lot to do with economic
Oh,
disparities.
bro,
In
they
turn,
have
tons of
racial
Indians left
tensions.
Fiji. Again, look it up. Time crunch. When visiting Fiji, you
Oh,
will
that
hear the
sucks,
word "bula"
man.
a lot, which is the Fijian word for hello. And just remember, in the Fijian alphabet, C makes the th sound, D makes the nd sound, B makes the mb sound. Both Q and G make the ng sound. Therefore, the town of Nadi is actually pronounced Nandi. And this word is pronounced Mbenga. And of course, we can't forget little Rotuma.
Okay.
Rotuma is kind
It's
of like
always
the
good to know.
Hawaii of Fiji. As if Fiji wasn't a tropical getaway enough in
Already,
itself.
yeah.
Technically, Rotuma lies in Polynesia, and the people here are radically different from the rest of Fiji, as they have their own distinct culture that's closer to Samoa and Tuvalu. One thing that Fijians can attest to, though, is that rugby is a big
yeah.
deal out here. They have consistently ranked high in their men's sevens team, being a 2-time winner.
Which is very impressive for a nation of 900 people. Almost reminds me of Iceland in the World Cup, which was so impressive to see such a small country at the World Cup. And I guess Fiji with their rugby team would probably be the same. Chop, I want to do a firewalk in your next video. Hey, maybe it gets me a lot of views. Maybe I should do
Quite a
it.
competitive history.
No,
Let's
honestly,
talk more about that international affair.
I have a high sensitivity for pain.
When it comes
so.
to friends, Fiji has strong roots in both the traditional East and
But
the
hey, it'd be a cool
West.
idea
First of all,
for sure.
Fiji's always been close to their nearby island neighbors Vanuatu, Tuvalu, Samoa, and Tonga. In fact, the only way you can even get to Tuvalu is through Fiji, as it acts as the only international travel hub for the tiny skinny nation. They still have
Hashtag
relatively close
friends.
ties to the UK, as the British were former colonizers until they gained independence in 1970. They still remained a Commonwealth and receive lots of aid. Their best friends would probably be New Zealand and kind of Australia. The largest amount of tourists come from these two countries, and they contribute largely to the economy. Australia, though, did
Yeah,
not
of course,
approve
that
of
would
the
make a
coup
lot of
d'etat that
sense.
happened in 2006 and threatened sanctions against Fiji for a while. Fiji was kind of upset with this, but after things settled down, they kind of let it go and decided to go back to drinking Mai Tais on the beach. In conclusion, Fiji is kind of like a Melanesian country slowly transforming into a Polynesian one, but then got stuck halfway and decided it liked itself that way. Oh, and a bunch of Indians came in to spice things up. Stay tuned, Finland is coming up next.
Wow, I actually did learn a lot of things I didn't know about Fiji. Mahatma Gandhi also supported the Indian minority in South Africa when racial tensions came up and not other groups there. I mean, rugby was created by England and they have small-ass population. The countries that have rugby as their national sport are countries with small populations. I guess true, but not always, right? South Africa has a big population. Iceland destroyed England in football in 2016. The English have not been the same since then. Fijian mercenaries already helped Bougainville achieve independence from Papua New Guinea against Australia and Indonesia. Huh. Interesting. Like there was a documentary or a fake news, and it was like Mexicans can't buy water because it costs more for them, so they drink Coca-Cola. No, I'm sorry to break that for you, bro, but that's fortunately not true. We don't like drinking poison that much. I mean, we do drink here in Mexico Coca-Cola. We drink a lot of that. Okay, so it's a very popular, but it's not popular than water. You know, water is good. Everyone should drink that.